let us give you something really, 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 really good to know. What you really want can come now or within a few minutes. Because the reason that you want everything in a manifested form that you think you want is because you believe you will feel better in the having of that. So if you can just, for a little while, accept that since it's joy is the reason that you want it, you want it because you think it will feel better to have it. If you can believe us when we say you can find a way to feel better now, which means you're going to get what you want now. It's just that you want the means to it to be exactly as you've defined it. In other words, I want to be happy because of that path unfolding just that way. And we want you to stop nitpicking over how the happiness comes and just accept that you can find the happiness right now or within an hour or certainly within a day. And if you can be satisfied with the happiness that is here, which is the reason that you want everything, then all of the means to that end will show up for you. It's the means to the end thing. That's what's tripping you all up, you see. You want manifestations which you know are not going to happen instantaneously. It's like, let's say you're deeply in debt and what you really want is a big pile of money. Well, there's a big difference between where you are in terms of the manifestation in your bank and where you want to be. If you could realize that you have the ability to find ease, you can find clarity right now while the money may be a little while in coming. You could find a feeling of peacefulness right now while the money may be a little while in coming. And what happens sometimes is that you've allowed yourself, and it's all right, to be out of balance long enough that there's enough momentum going that keeps what you want from coming, keeps it from actually manifesting. And your belief, a lot of people have it, it's a flawed belief, is that I have to get that before I can feel better. And if you can get that turned around in your mind, first I need that and then I will feel better. I need this before I can feel better. Once I get the job or once I get the lover or once I get the whatever, then I will feel better. And that's the flawed premise. If we can convince you that you can feel better anyway, you can feel better anyway, you can feel better anyway. And what puts you off on that is that you think, oh, Abraham, you just want us to feel better so that we can live with not having what we want. And we say, no, we want you to feel better because we know that that is the vibrational path to everything that you want. But what you really want is to feel better, but all of the details will fill in around it once you get there first. So you got to get to the feeling good first, you see. Does that make sense? You're all very quiet out there. We just told you the most important thing that you will ever hear from us or anyone. And you're thinking, yeah, Abraham, I hear you, but I want to get the money out of the vortex and into the bank. All right? That you can achieve again and again and again and again and again. Something I did, I can do again. Something that I liked, I can do it again. It's not difficult, I can do it again.
But what I don't understand is I was not aware at the time that I was, like if I had the knowledge I have now, back then when I was in it, I wasn't aware that I was creating it when it happened. I felt...
You know, it really doesn't matter what you didn't know before. It only matters what you know now. So what you're saying is, I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was vibrationally in balance, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know that I was not offering resistance. I didn't even know. But now you know when you are and when you aren't. Now you know.
But knowing how exhilarating that feeling is, and then feeling it such a gift. It was such a gift that every single day I was so appreciative of.
Tracy is Esther's daughter, and one day, years ago, Tracy was in California. She had a job there. Jerry and Esther were in Texas, and Tracy used to try to make her way out to see them frequently, and she tried to time it when there was going to be an Abraham seminar because she liked that. So she called her mother one morning on her way to work, and she was upset, and she said, I really need to come and get my Abraham-Hicks, but I can't schedule it. I can't see a way to it. And Esther said, well, what's going on? And she said, I've lost my mojo. I'm not in alignment. I don't feel good. Things aren't turning out the way I'm used to them. I need to come and get my Abraham-Hicks. And Esther said, why? What is it about that? And Tracy said, I don't know. I just remember being in the audience and listening to Abraham, and I don't even remember what Abraham was saying. And I just had this feeling, I just wanted to jump to my feet and say, yes! I just felt, yes! And then Tracy said, oh, never mind, the feeling came back. All she had to do was remember. She wasn't that far away from it. All she had to do is remember what it felt like. You see, we think that we have you thinking more than is good for you. You want to think. You like the drama of things too. Do you remember feelings of satisfaction?
Oh, yes.
Esther, when she is looking for a feeling of satisfaction, she remembers being really little. She's not sure how old she was, out between the lilac trees with every blanket that she could bring from the house out there. Her mother was always looking for things, and they were usually between the lilac bushes out there. And Esther remembers just sitting there by herself for hours on end, enjoying being in that little place between the lilac bushes. And Esther can't remember what she was thinking. She just remembers how good it felt being there, how much she liked being there. She could hardly wait for the snow to thaw and the ground to be dry enough that she could drag the blankets out and get between the lilac bushes just to be. Now she thinks about being in the treehouse, or what it feels like to be in conversation with someone who's really easy to be with. You don't have to figure it all out. Just find some touchstone that always feels good to you when you think about it, and use it as your reason to feel good right now. Adjust your vibration by reaching for the feeling. We know that it sounds silly because here you are. You've come to learn to be the deliberate creator of your own reality. We know it should be really hard. It should be hard. There should be long, long, long lists of things to do in order to do it. I should be able to get my mind, my weak and limpy mind that's always focused in the wrong place. I should be able to wrestle it with the ground and make it focus upon things that are meaningful to me. And we say, no, that isn't it. That isn't it. All you got to do is find something that's soft and feels good to you. For a while, Esther just focused on her pillow. Just appreciation.
My bed.
Just find something. Find something. But in doing so, before you're going to be willing to do that, we have to convince you that that's the work to be done. Because you're so used to jumping through the hoops and trying so hard and being measured against others and getting it all right. And you've heard all of the stuff about right and wrong and the pros and cons of things. And your very worthiness and beingness is in question in your mind so much of the time. And we say, where do you get this stuff? You are the leading edge, and source energy is adoring you and flowing to you and offering you everything that you could possibly want or need in every moment. And all you got to do is just soften yourself enough to be the receiver of it, you see. Which means you just have to find a soft thought. You just have to stop beating up on yourself for a minute. Just stop feeling critical of what you're not getting done and using what you used to get done successfully. Stop using it as a club to beat yourself over the head about what you're not getting done. It's like saying, oh, I was so thin. I used to be so thin. I used to be so thin and not now. Don't use past successes to torment yourself now. Don't use anything to torment yourself. Use everything and anything that you can think of to soothe yourself. Tell the story the way it feels best to you. I'm a good person. I was born as a good person, and I remained a good person. And I'm loved. I'm worthy. And Source adores me. And Source is flowing to me. And I'm figuring this out. And I don't have to figure it out all at once. And things are all right. And it's getting better all the time. And it's just a matter of the way I feel. I like figuring this out. And I am figuring it out. There's just no big deal going on here. Nothing serious going on. Nothing serious going on. We can tell you, and we don't want to get too much in your head, but you will never put yourself in a position where Source withholds from you. You just put yourself in a position where you don't let it in. And we know that you know that that's what you're doing. Right. And you're almost frantically saying, I know I'm doing this, and how can I stop doing this? And we say, just by feeling around until it feels good and then noting. I felt relief in that thought. That thought felt better. Because it's always better to love yourself than to be mad at yourself. But you can't go cold turkey on loving yourself. If you've got momentum going where you're self-critical or critical of others, critical about anything, you're not going to all of a sudden just drop that. There's momentum going. But you can remember the shrimp that tasted good, and that's a respite. That's relief. You can remember something funny that happened. If you would just get together with friends and talk about the funniest things that you remember happening, your energy would shift. If you would just get hold of some television series, Esther watches Big Bang Theory. Every minute she can find. She's got them all recorded. A really nice evening is just to look and see, oh, I've seen that one, erase. Oh, I've seen that one, erase. Oh, I haven't seen that one. In other words, makes her laugh. Makes her laugh. Brilliantly written, makes her laugh. Nothing serious going on, makes her laugh. Feels good to laugh. Change the world. Watch Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
Easier than you've been making it out to be, isn't it?
Yes.
Is finding a way to feel good when you don't feel good complicated? Sort of, kind of, a little, isn't it? Because you are where you are. So take a nap. Take a nap if you can. Meditate if you can. Change the scenery if you can. Get outside. That usually helps right away. If you can find something like a furry critter to focus on, that almost always helps. Because they know nothing serious is going on. They just look at you like, what's your problem, lady? I got nuts. I got a tree. What's your problem? We've enjoyed this interaction more than words can express fully. One of the things that we enjoy most about a gathering like this is that we, or you, are not limited to the communication that is taking place through words. There is a vibrational thing that is happening. The words are helpful because they cause us to focus similarly. And as we focus similarly, then the broader experience of the vibrational knowing and clarity can then take place. A gathering like this, from our point of view, is of advantage to you because through your willingness and patience to participate in dialogue like this, you have focused in the vibrational vicinity of your source longer than you usually do. And because of that longer focus, even though we're all sort of in and out of it depending on what's happening in the questions and answers, for the most part, it is a time of sustained vibrational frequency that is in keeping with who you really are. And that's why, almost without exception, everything that we said here today, even the things that have never been said before, were received by you. That's why you got it. Now, as you move from this room and try to explain to anybody what this was about, that clarity will probably subside just a little bit because this is a peak experience. But the value of it is you practiced a vibration that took you to a new place, which gives you two really wonderful advantages. The first is that now you've found this new frequency and you've sustained it for a little bit of time, enough time. When you slip from it, you will recognize it. So your keen awareness of your own guidance system has been enhanced as a result of a participation like this here today. And the other thing that is wonderful is that your point of attraction has shifted as a result of the mental focus that you have participated in today. You are not leaving this room with the same sustained frequency that you entered it, which means everything in your experience is going to be different. Every relationship that you have will shift to some degree. The thing that matters most, and it's our favorite thing to say to you, is your realization of that. In other words, if you can accept a shift as you have received it here today, acknowledge it is really what we're saying, and then compound the acknowledgement by affirming the evidence of it to yourself, not to others, when it occurs. Well, now you're on the path of least resistance, you see. Now you're moving into that ease that we were talking about earlier. You are a magnificent group, and it has been delightful for us to feel you as you were and as you are. And even more delightful for us to anticipate what is coming for you next.